If you don't know how to sell as an entrepreneur or business owner, in today's video, I'm going to spend some time sharing with you why you not knowing how to influence people is going to be the end of your business. If I'm you, the question I'm asking myself is, why in the hell should I listen to this random guy on the internet? The truth is, I spent the better part of my adult life learning how to sell. And what I learned in that process was not only transformational, but it taught me so much about life and the way that people move. So if you spend time today watching this video, my goal for you is to understand how sales is going to transform your business and get you in the direction of increasing your revenue to build a sustainable business based on learning one critical skill set, which of course is the gift of persuasion. So first and foremost, let me share this with you. Sales is not about manipulating people to get them to do what you want them to do. Sales is such a dirty word. When most people hear the word sales, they think about the used car salesman and him pushing them to buy something. That is not sales. And that's also coming from somebody who sold used cars. But how does that influence how you operate as a business owner? If you're anything like me, you've had months where you didn't bring in any additional revenue, so increasing your revenue by $0. And you've also had months where you're increasing by 5, 6 figures in a single month. And the true difference in that process was my ability to sell. It wasn't about manipulating people. It was getting them to understand how my product, our service, helped them to fix their problems. Sales, marketing, it's all about problem solving. What can you do for the people that you're working with and that you're working for? Sales is not what you do to someone. It's what you do for someone and with someone. Your job as a salesperson, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is to get your clients to understand how you get them from point A to point B, how you get them across the bridge of transformation. If they're starting here, your ability to influence them, to persuade them, to get them to do something that's actually going to help their business is going to be what allows you to not only understand what they need to do for their business, but what you need to do for yours as well. The next thing I want you to understand, sales is the way to grow your business. Even if you're talking about the psychology of marketing, marketing is part of your sales process. It doesn't matter if you're doing e-commerce, you're selling a product, you're selling a service. Your job as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is to get people to understand why going from this place in their life to that place in their life is going to be the critical thing that allows them to grow their business, or in some cases, to grow themselves. Is continuously building value. But you walk them through a discovery process. You analyze what's happening in their business in order to get them to do something that's going to service them. Oftentimes, as consumers, we think about salespeople as the people trying to convince us to do something. But if you spend so much time trying to convince people to do things without listening to the problems that they have and how your product or service helps to solve them, then what you're talking about doesn't really matter if I'm the person who's buying them. If you're talking to me about blue shoes and you're doing everything possible to convince me to buy a certain pair of blue shoes and I hate the color blue, you have wasted your breath. So part of your sales process is asking people the right questions to understand, why is this important to them right now? How do you come about even coming to have this conversation with me? So you walk them through a discovery process. You get an understanding of what they want to accomplish, and hopefully with your product or service, you allow them to go down that path. Sales is about transformation. And with everything that you do, when you're going through a slide deck, when you're having a conversation, when you're asking questions, at each phase of that process, you're guiding them. You're not convincing them to do anything. It doesn't matter if you're trying to convince your mom as a 7-year-old to get you ice cream, or you're trying to negotiate tariffs. Everything in life is sales. Even if you're selling yourself for a job interview, which brings me to my next point. Sales is external and internal. So if you are a business owner, what does it look like when you're hiring someone? When you're sitting down for an interview and you're walking them through the process of what your company does. And you're understanding from their perspective why it would be worth it to work for your company. If I'm trying to sell you on going to another role or a very specific role, you are part of an internal sales process, whether I'm selling carpets and rugs, or I'm selling myself as a plumber, or I have this artificial intelligence startup. Life is a pitch, and your job, your ability to share with other people your value, the value of your company, what you do, and how it can help them transform their lives to fix their problems. That's gonna be the difference in how far your business actually goes. So if you've spent any time listening to me talk over the last 5-6 minutes or so, one of the things I want you to take away from all of this is sales is the most critical skill set that you can possess in order to grow your business. So the question I'm asking if I'm you is, I believe you, random guy on the internet, how do I start the process of learning how to sell? If I'm thinking about the problems that my product or service solves, I'm probably going to go out and ask my clients, hey, what is about this product or service that keeps you coming back? What is it that made you purchase to begin with? Once I gather this information, I am sharing that with new potential clients. I'm creating marketing copy. I'm sending out email newsletters with that same information. The one takeaway that I want you to walk away with is that sales, again, is not what you do to someone, it's what you do for someone and with someone. And the next level of sales is when you allow people to sell themselves. That's the gift of persuasion. We'll see you on the next one.